right, we're back coming off a Bears win this week. We're on episode 14. A lot of other wins out there. I think most of us were about 50-50 on our bets, but one big one, we were the first place where you might have heard some breaking news that has been reconfirmed by additional sources at this time. But that was Jesse with the hot take, and I believe it was a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, just walk us through what that was like for you, being so right and, being able to see so far into the future.
Well, it's still speculation at this point, but the larger talk shows, some of these bigger personalities are picking up on the idea that the Bears.
They've obviously watched the show.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So apparently, Bill Simmons said that there's a possibility that the Bears could trade their first overall pick that they're going to get from the Carolina Panthers to the LA Chargers for Justin Herbert. That was something that we had talked about a few weeks ago on one of our episodes. And, why we thought that might be a good idea for both the Bears organization and the LA Chargers organization. This was prior to Brandon Staley's firing, prior to Justin Herbert's season-ending injury. There were a lot of other factors that weren't in play just yet when we had first talked about this, but, things have played out since that initial conversation in a way that, that still seems like a very plausible and even a situation where it seems like it just would kind of make sense for both sides. Justin Herbert gets a fresh start, and, the Chargers get, the first overall pick and a chance to go after a guy like Caleb Williams, who, would maybe get the chance to stay in Southern California. So, I think that story broke today on
Pardon My Take.
Yeah, Pardon My Take. So just give credit where credit's due. Chitown Lowdown. That's where that initially came from. You can go back and check the timestamp. Not sure what episode it was, but we'll have that in a future episode. We'll let you know for verification purposes. But I'm still all for this. Justin Herbert could be the guy in Chicago next year, especially after another inconsistent performance from Justin Fields against the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, we got the win, but you're still not seeing what you want to see out of this guy to close out this year, his third season, and set him up for his fourth season in Chicago. So we'll see, but this news and this conversation about Justin Herbert possibly coming to Chicago gets me excited. I hope it does you too. I think it could be something that could change the destiny of this organization over this next decade. So, leave some comments on your thoughts about that, or what you think the Bears could also do with the quarterback situation. Maybe you want to keep Fields. Maybe you think there's another deal we can make with the early draft capital that we have coming up in this next draft. So let us know what you think, and we'll talk about your thoughts on the next episode.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's an interesting conversation. I kind of take the other side where I don't know how much further ahead that we would be if we did replace Fields with Herbert. It definitely would shake things up, like you said. It does whenever you shake things up tremendously in that sense and in that position. Yeah, I mean, you like to err on the optimistic side. But as far as value goes, drafting a quarterback obviously presents some value. Keeping Fields and signing him to probably wouldn't be a tremendous contract, presents some value, and then adding additional weapons in the draft. But I think it's a very open-ended question as to, do you like Herbert? If you don't like Herbert, who do you like more? I'm interested to see what people have to say. So,
well, I have some thoughts.
I wasn't interested.
I'm gonna beat the people to the punch here. So there's a few different things that I think you want to take into account when you're talking about this trade or potential move. First and foremost, I was discussing with some of my other friends earlier today what it would truly take to get Herbert, and I don't think just the one overall pick is enough.
That's what I was thinking.
I think that he is the type of player. So let's just look at it, try to look at it for number one pick. Let's assume that's Caleb Williams. If if you're doing that trade that we're proposing, you're saying as the Chargers, I think Caleb Williams is better than Justin Herbert. Now, I think most of us would probably sit here and say, I don't think so. Not right now, at least. We'd all, I'd assume, prefer to have Herbert over Caleb Williams. Maybe not all.
Herbert's hurt.
Yeah.
So right now.
Well, not right now. We're talking about the beginning of next season. But the point I'm trying to make here is that may not be enough, just the first overall pick. If you're the Chargers, you may say, well, we want multiple first-round picks. If you look at the Deshaun Watson trade, which obviously most people are going to say that was a dumb trade anyways. Shout out Altman. He had pointed that out to me earlier today. But in that trade, Houston got 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson, and a third and a fourth. And if that's what kind of value they're putting on Watson, what could the Chargers potentially ask for with Herbert? You may be looking at putting yourself out of contention for a first-round pick for 3 years in the future. That's tough. Like if it were me and I was in, the front office for the Bears, which, we know that will never be the case. But if I were, and they said, well, we want the first overall pick and we want your first round pick this year as well, which is going to be probably another top 10 pick, could be top 5 range. I think I would do that. I like Herbert. And if we could get him, I'd love to see it happen. I'm just saying we are mortgaging the, proposed plan for this team, which is to build up draft capital and build up the rest of the team by going a route like this. You're saying, okay, actually, we're not going to do that. We're going to give all that away for this one guy, and we're going to hope that the team that we've already assembled is just a quarterback away. So for me, if it's 2 picks, 2 first rounders, and if it's this year's first 2 picks, I would say go for it. I'd like to hear if you guys think that is 1 pick enough, or do you think that we would find ourselves in a situation where we're giving away more than that?
Yeah, I think it comes down to how much confidence does the Bears have in Herbert and how much they like him. I mean, if we're going to give away, I don't know.
First rounders.
Yeah, but so that'd be our two first round picks, right? The ones that we have.
Yeah, it could shake out as the 2 this year, 1 next year, or it could be like the Watson deal, which was I think 3 consecutive years of first round picks from the Browns.
I mean, I think that the fact that Herbert didn't play great this year, it's I don't think that's his fault. I think that's mainly on the coaching and the personnel. Just didn't fit. I think that might bring down the value of him a little bit, just because we know what he can do. But this last season, I don't think he did as I had him in fantasy, and the last 4 games were just terrible. So
it didn't help that he kept snapping fingers every other game.
Yeah, true. And he's hurt too. That's a big thing too. And
So you're thinking this has the potential to be a little bit of a buy low situation, given that Herbert's very recent performance is not
and I think that's
super
good.
Great.
Yeah, and I think we can kind of go with that and see what happens. But I don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing 3 first round picks, or just giving up the Bears' future for something that could look really good, but will it? And that's there's always a gamble with that. But I don't know. I would love to get him, but at a good price is all we need here.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to package Fields in with that deal and say, we're giving Herbert a fresh start. You're giving Herbert a fresh start. We're going to give you Fields, and you can evaluate him. They do this deal with enough time in front of the draft, and then they have the power, and they can say, well, we have Fields, so maybe we don't need to take quarterback if we don't want to. And then they have the ability to go out and see what other people are offering for that first overall pick as well. So they could get a haul for that, and they could get a haul, in a way that they're able to figure out their cap space situation because they're paying some of those guys on the defensive side of the ball crazy amounts of money. And they need to figure that out. Herbert is another huge line item for them. So if they can get Fields on a contract on the last year of his rookie contract, that's going to solve that problem for them. But some of these guys on the defensive side of the ball for the Chargers are going to go. And so if they can use that first overall pick to build up the defensive side with some younger guys that aren't going to cost them quite as much, that's going to help them with this rebuild. So I could see something like that happening. They get the first overall pick. They get Fields. They maybe get, one or two younger players that they don't have to pay right away and they can develop. And the Bears get Herbert.
I think you brought up a good point too, Jesse. You just briefly mentioned it earlier, but this was something that Chris had brought up when I was talking to him about it earlier today as well, was the fact that, and this kind of goes a little bit further down the rabbit hole in terms of how far you want to theorize about this factor and that factor. But there's been some talk of, lost Wargo, we'll get him back. There's been some talk of Lincoln Riley potentially being a candidate for the head coaching position at the Chargers, and looking at bringing in Caleb Williams, Lincoln Riley combo, which obviously has just been super potent at USC. And how that could kind of play into it. Obviously I think Caleb Williams is somewhat liked in Southern California. So he stays there, they get a guy from their area out of college, Heisman winner. So Chris had pointed out, hey, that could play into it potentially. I personally don't see the appeal in any of this really for the Chargers. The Herbert for the first rounders I get, but them potentially seeing Williams as better than Herbert, I think it would be more of Chris had called it a reset. Hey, we tried to get what we could out of Herbert, but that just isn't working here. So we're going to go with a complete reset, bring in Williams, try and get Lincoln Riley from USC. Again, that's a little bit further down the rabbit hole for me. I personally, I keep telling myself, I just don't see why the Chargers do this. And I think that's primarily because of how highly I think of Herbert. I just don't, if I were running that organization, he's the last thing I would want to get rid of. I'd try to get rid of literally everything else first. Get rid of Bosa, get rid of Mack, get rid of Keenan Allen. You've got a cornerstone left tackle with Rashawn Slater from Northwestern a couple of years ago. Continue to just build young talent. Don't pay Austin Eckler. Don't make that mistake. Hold firm there. But I'm a Bears fan. I'm not a Chargers fan, so I'm not going to go too deep on that. But yeah.
Another element of this that ties into some other things that we've talked about on this podcast is the Jim Harbaugh situation, who has been on the record saying he loves Justin Herbert, the type of player that he is. So, I know there's speculation of him possibly being that coaching candidate in LA. Obviously, we would like to see him in Chicago.
It's going to hurt so much when we don't get Herbert and we don't get Harbaugh, and then they end up with the Chargers, and it's everything we are talking about just.
And we have Eberflus again. And Fields is the quarterback in Chicago next year.
Honestly, I was thinking about that today, and
I think about it every day.
Yeah, same. And I was like, because I was watching the San Francisco Baltimore game last night. I'm sure you guys watched as well. Obviously didn't go the way a lot of people, the way I thought it was going to go. I thought San Francisco would win that game, but to me, I love this Baltimore team. They've got so many guys. They've got Roquan, which obviously he's near and dear. But seeing Lamar just in prime time is just so sick. And it got me thinking. I was like, let me go back and look at Lamar's early numbers versus Fields' early numbers. And I was hoping to like connect some dots and, hopefully see some correlation. There isn't any. Lamar's always been so much better than whatever Fields has ever shown us. I found this stat on Pro Football Reference that is called effective passing rate. And it has to do with the percentage of yards that you gain on each particular down. And Fields has always been below 40% since he's been in the league. And so I was like, well, let me compare that to Lamar. Lamar's never had like a sub 50 year. And then I was like, well, let me compare this to some other guys. So I started kind of like plugging guys in just to see like where Fields falls. The only person I could find comparable was Zach Wilson. And guys like Kirk Cousins, who you think of as like ultra conservative, like people put that label on and they're like, this guy is, like he's always throwing it behind the chains when they need a first down, like takes that rap a lot. He's 20 percentage points higher than Fields has been his entire career minus 1 year. I think it was his second year in the league. And I really thought it was an interesting stat because what it kind of sounded like to me was your ability to convert when it mattered most. And that is something that it just doesn't seem like he has. He has gradually improved in this area. I'll give him that. And I think he has the potential to continue to do so. But I just thought it was interesting. And I love looking at stupid, meaningless stats.
Yeah, I think Sunday I felt like he was getting through his progressions, and he checked down when he needed to. He stayed in the pocket a little bit. I don't know. I'm still not sold on him, which is not good. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do as a Bears fan.
I'm with you, Tom.
The frustrating thing about Justin Fields is he shows you flashes of brilliance and crazy athleticism where you're like, if he can just put that together for 4 quarters and then turn 4 quarters into 8 quarters and 8 quarters, and consistently start to play good quarterback for the Chicago Bears, then the Bears are going to be dangerous. But it's the inconsistency that is the problem.
One thing I did notice, or I have been noticing, is I feel like as a whole the Bears have been holding on to the football, less turnovers. I know he threw 2 picks against the Browns, but those were Hail Marys, I think. So, I mean, that's kind of – he did throw one in the red zone on Sunday. That's one. He's been holding on to the ball, which is good to see if there's any bright spot in his play as of late.
Well, it was really only 1 pick against the Browns, right, Jesse?
Yes, because that one before halftime hit the ground, and I'm not sure if they ever corrected that, but they should.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Thank you for bringing it up, Morgan.
No, I mean, I got into the conversation as well just because I like to get in sports debates and stuff like that. But we were at a holiday Christmas party, and one of Savannah's friends is her family friends, and there was a guy who has just proposed to one of her close friends from high school and everything, and he was there, and never really talked to him too much. Hayden was his name, but I was watching. God, I forget what I was watching. I think it was the Bills game. Yeah, the Bills game. And I was just streaming it on my phone in the kitchen. And he was like kind of watching it over my shoulder. And he's like, I could probably get it on the TV if I, go around and ask some people. But anyway, got to talking Bears and stuff. And that was just like a fun debate that I like to have where and his point was hilarious. And that's why I bring it up. But I was like making the case for Fields because this game hadn't been played yet. But I was just saying, there's a lot of season left. And I do like the forecast if Fields does, come and show that he is the guy where he usually does play pretty well when there's no pressure and there's no playoff pressure. So I didn't know if he was going to take that and run with it.
Hey, we still have a chance.
Yeah. Well, yeah. technically. Let's not talk
Okay.
about it, please. Don't talk about
Okay.
it. I personally don't think he played terribly this last game. I mean, there were a few things, like if you just focus in on the two or three, negative areas that were pretty large moments. Looking over guys that were clearly wide open, DJ Moore. But I mean, he lost Cole Kmet, who he was going to a lot throughout the game.
DJ Moore wasn't a factor either. He was hurt.
Yeah.
Decoy, if anything.
Yeah. DJ was very hurt, and provided he was open on a few routes and stuff, but it was mostly just as a decoy. But the case that I was making is there's a lot of games to be played. Like it would work a lot better for the Bears if Fields was the guy and he continued to play well. And he was it is just so like a Bears fan, because naturally he's a Packers fan, so he just said this with all the arrogance in the world.
Oh, I hate this.
Just a typical Bears fan move to just be so desperate for a quarterback that you're willing to make Justin Fields the guy. And I was like, that's a fair
hurtful.
It is hard to get a good quarterback in the NFL. I mean,
depends on the team.
Yeah, if you're the Bears,
we happen to be a team that can't seem to figure it out. That was another thing quick thing that I had heard on the broadcast last night. They're like, since Harbaugh arrived, this is his 17th year. The Ravens have made the playoffs 11 out of 16 years. And I was just like, I can't even begin to understand what it feels like to be a fan of a team where it's just like at the beginning of the year, it's like, yeah, we'll probably make the playoffs. We'll have a shot. We'll have a team. And it's like, well,
you can convince yourself of that.
On one hand, the amount of times I've gone into a season with the Bears having that kind of mindset, and my God, it would be incredible if we could start to trend in that direction.
It does. It is hard. I feel like you just have certain
to be a Bears fan.
Yeah,
it's very hard.
Certain organizations that the Chargers are a good example. They're not ran great. They don't have a good GM and coach, and they don't have a good GM to put a good coach in charge. And that's where it starts. And people say it's the players all the way, but you got to put a team together, and it's hard in the NFL. So and the Bears, I think we're getting there though, guys. I do. Yeah. The last few years, it takes a time. So,
no, I mean, yeah, to that point, one of my buddies was at his girlfriend's Christmas party, right? And they're all San Francisco fans, and they were all freaking out when they lost, and he's not that big of a sports fan. So he was like, "Oh, what's going on?" Yeah, they lost, but they'll play again next week and stuff. And they were throwing bottles into the trash, and just doing pissed off stuff, and he didn't get it. And I was like, the 49ers have sucked before. In recent history, the 49ers were a pretty terrible franchise. So for people to really be that pissed off, but I feel like that's just fandom.
The Browns are another thing that come to mind, just terribly ran. I don't know.
Yeah, but look at the Browns now.
Well, and I get my closing point to the guy that I was talking to at the holiday party, the one that I was at, was the thing about the Bears is they'll always have us convinced that it's all part of the plan, right? We're just along for the ride every single year, where it's there's so much media and so much propaganda out there where we're going to show up, they're still going to, the stands will still be full. People are going to still come to the games. People are still going to support the franchise, and they can put out a mediocre product and nothing will change. And here we are talking about it.
Here we are. We did make the Super Bowl in 2008 or something. So let's just, okay.
We went to the
2008 or 2012, whatever it was, dude. We made it.
Right?
Colts.
2005, I think. No. Was it 08?
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I don't think it was 05.
I mean, the nice thing is there's been huge improvement on the defensive side of the ball, right? We've seen that. And if we can figure some things out offensively, I think that might start with getting a new offensive coordinator in the building. Even if Eberflus is the head coach of the team next year, he's obviously done some things right, building up that defense and getting some schemes in place that are giving some offenses some problems. That's promising. And you know who the Bears kind of remind me of right now is the Lions at the end of the last season.
Yeah.
Right? They started off really bad, and then they went on a tear, and they were a much better team at the end of the season. And look at the Lions now. They just clinched the NFC North, and
we might even have a chance to ruin the Packers season just like they did last year.
Exactly. So
I didn't think about that. That's crazy. That'd be great.
Look ahead.
It kind of, to your point, Jesse, about Eberflus, it's kind of unfortunate because I think Tom had brought this up in an earlier podcast. He was like, do you think he'd ever like step back and like run the defense and let them bring in a new coach? And it's like, since he's taken over the defense, since, you know, the fiasco that was our defensive coordinator to start the year, who knows what actually happened there.
Yeah.
But since he's taken the reins on the defense, it seems like that is like almost a turning point for that unit. And they're becoming like a fun unit to watch. Like when they're on defense, it's like they're hitting, they are tackling well, they're starting to pressure the quarterback, they're not allowing guys to get behind them every other play for, 60-yard touchdowns. The secondary is very much willing to step up to the competition. Like Kyler Gordon, I loved his play last week. He was making all kinds of tackles. I touched on Tyreek Stevenson a couple weeks ago. I like his physicality. Can he be a little bit over aggressive? Absolutely. Obviously, Jalen Johnson, contract year for him. We've seen him playing at his absolute best up until this point in his career. And like the defense is like, we've got some guys now. There's
the
still
defensive line is getting pressure. They would never get to the quarterback.
I wrote down the first 9 games of the year we had 10 sacks, and the last 6 we've got 17. So it's awesome to see. It's not like you're just holding your breath when they're on defense now.
I got a quick X post here from Clay Harbor. Notable defensive grades for the notable defensive grades for the Bears versus the Cardinals per PFF. So Kyler Gordon 90.3. So to Luke's point, he had a great game. He was all over the field making plays.
So sick. He was
Terrell Smith, the later round cornerback we drafted, 79.4. Tyreek Stevenson 76.2. So that's super promising. If we see Jalen Johnson leave the organization in the offseason, we've got some young talent there we can put out on the edges and hold their own.
Tremaine Brisker too.
Yep.
Brisker's been really good.
Tremaine Edmonds was only at 42.1 and Montez Sweat at 38.1, which was the low on the team, which, that's fine. Some guys, you're going to have an off day. And I think we can all say that just him being on the field is elevating the play of these other guys around him. So it's super promising to see some of those younger guys really stepping up and playing well on defense. So that just goes to drive that point home that this defense is much improved since the beginning of the year and probably going to be the stronger side of the ball moving forward until we figure out this situation at quarterback, whether that's Justin Fields or whether it's a rookie quarterback or whether it's a veteran that we bring in. So we'll see.
We're the Bears are 4 fourth quarter catastrophes away from being 9-6. Like we were, if we didn't, or did I say that right? I don't know, but
I know what you're trying to say, and you're right. It could be very different right now.
And I think that's we talked about this last week too. We're a young team trying to figure it out, and I think this brings me back to the head coach thing. I think we keep Eberflus. I think I've been saying that the last couple of weeks. I think we keep him. We could change the offensive coordinator, but I've said this also that I don't like switching offensive coordinators every year. I know he's not been doing well, but we're scoring, and that's better than we've done in the past.
I feel like that's a tough move to make, to change the offensive coordinator, because we've done that to Fields like 3 of the last 3 years pretty much. We've had a different person calling plays for him. So,
but if you get a right offensive coordinator, that really can elevate Justin Fields' play. So it's just like, I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah. Well, he's a quarterback coach.
But yeah, I think we're playing well, guys. I wish we could finish games this year because it's coming into we still have a less than 1% chance of making the playoffs. People got to lose. We got to win. Very unlikely.
I mean, we end up winning those 3 games that we were leading by 10 or more points in the fourth quarter. We're 9-6 right now. Yeah.
What, the Broncos, the Browns, the Detroit.
Yeah.
All 3 of those, I think, were the ones. Yep.
Yeah. So
they hurt Tom. That's you just pulled him right off the top of his head.
I just remember them like they were yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
He goes over the list every night before he goes to bed.
Yeah. That's his memory trick. It's just trauma, just related to
Wargo, you brought something up pre-cast. I know you wanted to get some words in on that. We could probably spend a little bit of time talking about our good buddy bringing a trusty leg to the Windy City, Cairo Santos. He'll be in Chicago for 4 more years. Signed him to an extension. I know you were pretty jacked about that.
Me or Wargo? I think I brought it up, but that's all right. It doesn't matter.
I think Wargo brought it up before you got into the pre.
Okay, I think Wargo and I have the same kind of conclusion, but it's up. You can go. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, yeah, we paid him a good bit. I mean, we do have.
What was the contract?
What's that?
What was it?
4 years. I don't know how much
I think it's like 9.5 a year, guaranteed. I think.
Okay.
What? We're paying him $9.5 million a year.
That might have been the total contract. Sorry, I didn't look at it too much.
Yeah.
4-year contract worth $16 million. So $4 million a year.
Okay.
Don't know where I got that.
I think I just saw his previous contract was $9 million for 3 years or something like that. But he's reliable.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's reliable.
It's like he's not like the Justin Tucker type where you're like fucking 60, like let's kick it.
Yeah.
No, that's not an option with Cairo. Like get it to 50. You're in play there. 60, it's kind of getting scary. I think that he had a 49-yarder.
His longest
in the game last week, and that 49-yarder was just like puttering through.
Yeah.
Dead center. But that's you just gotta watch out for those longer ones with Cairo. But.
Yeah, we were looking up some stats pre-pod, and because I think Jesse had a couple.
That was my one argument as well. Is he doesn't have the biggest leg, and Tom did hit me with his career stats, and beyond 50 to 59, he honestly has been pretty accurate. But I think part of that is the coach's understanding where his limit is, because sometimes the Bears will walk that punt unit out or go for it in that gray area where some other teams may walk the kicker out and try a field goal, because they know if you get to 55, like, okay.
But the other thing is, most teams don't even kick field goals anymore. They're just like, oh, it's 4th and 27 from the opponent's 30.
What about Brandon Aubrey?
Let's go for
59 and a 60-yarder a couple weeks ago.
You're talking about the Cowboys guy?
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of guys who can still kick. It's just like I feel like watching games every week now, you're like 4th and goal from inside the 10. That no one kicks a field goal anymore. It's like we're going for it.
Statistics.
It's like nobody takes points anymore. I get it. Analytics. I say to go for it. Maybe I'm a homer. I probably am, but sometimes it just feels like, what? Why are you not taking the points here? Do you not realize that I need 2 more points to hit the over here? No, you don't. So yeah, but congrats to Cairo. That's cool to see. Hopefully he continues to do well.
It's a position that we've struggled at for a long time. I mean, Cody Parkey, Eddie Pinheiro.
I think the double doink really hurt me.
Do you think that was mentioned in the contract negotiation for Santos?
No.
What,
Probably
double
not.
doink?
Look, I'm not this guy. You remember that? Do you remember
That might have been no. I think that would be for his interview. You know,
that?
I think that,
I'm not this guy. Please bring me over to Chicago.
yeah.
No, I think he's got a little upward potential. I mean, he's not like the youngest guy in the world, but yeah, the fact that he's dead accurate, you know, I don't think we should look at it and compare him to, you know, a very small select few of elite kickers that can bomb it from 60 yards. I think pretty damn good. Not the best, but he's pretty damn good. So like,
I did want to touch on another thing about the liked Caleb Williams liking a tweet, whatever. I want to just talk about that briefly because, you know, we were talking about number one picks and stuff and what we're going to do. I don't want that guy on my team.
I'm interested to see where he goes.
You know,
It seems like everybody's still got him.
like a problem. You know, it's a like, but
Yeah, just to give you guys that aren't sure about what we're talking about a little color. A random person made a tweet. Spenny Sham 22 said only one option for the Chicago Bears in 2024 draft. It's not Caleb Williams. We want Justin Fields. So he is behind Justin Fields, and then he goes on to say the answer is Marvin Harrison Jr. And Caleb Williams liked this tweet by this Spenny Sham person. And you know, obviously the media outlets are kind of running with this one because everybody they you know, this is a big narrative. The first overall pick in the NFL draft is a big deal. And if the guy that is projected and suspected to be that number one guy is liking tweets about fans of the organization that has that pick about them not taking him.
It's not a good start, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's clickbait, but
maybe he just wants his name in the news.
I think it's to embrace adversity. I think that's saying that looking at a franchise that doesn't have a standout quarterback and just saying, no, they need Marvin Harrison Jr., Justin Fields. He's better than, you know, I think it's like, yeah.
He's better than me. This guy's right. Justin Fields is better than I am.
I was saying that he was like supporting Justin. Like, yeah, this guy is better than you guys are saying he is.
I think it'd be more likely that he's like he has some sort of personal relationship with like Marvin Harrison Jr. Like maybe he's like, oh yeah, hopefully you know, he does go first. That's my boy. I hope he goes first, and I want him to go in front of me. Obviously, to me, it can, you know, the most obvious thing is he doesn't want to go to the Bears, and the fact of the matter is like guys have opinions like that all the time. Going into drafts, and then they get drafted. It's all going to depend on the results that you see when you get to a certain place. You know, he could go to the Panthers, and if they're winning, he's going to be happy. It's probably going to be that way for most players, as long as like, you know, there isn't some major issue. But I personally, I don't love Caleb Williams. I don't love his character. Some of the other things we've seen, like
him crying in his family's arms.
Not so much that. The emotional stuff isn't bothersome to me. Like it's more so like last year with the like "fuck Utah" painted on his fingernails, and not that painting your fingernails is an issue, but it's like you're putting bulletin board material out there for other teams. Like if that's your personality, like just be about your business. You know, and like, don't like, that's the type of guy I feel like you want leading your organization. You don't want someone who's caught up in like in the media, in what people are saying.
So Justin Fields post-game interview,
this is kind of like old man yelling at cloud right now, but like Justin Fields post-game interview, that's a good point. Like Justin Fields, if there is one thing that I really do like about him, it's that he has kind of like the Derrick Rose type of personality where it's like, is this guy okay? Like, he seems like he doesn't want to be here. And it seems like that because in those moments, you're seeing him standing on a podium in front of a bunch of people in the media. And he doesn't want to do that. He just wants to play.
Yeah.
That's the way Rose was back in the day. Like, he didn't care to do the press conferences. And if that's who you are, that doesn't bother me one bit. As long as when you get in between the lines, like, it's game time. Like, don't be George Pickens. Don't be, Caleb Williams in certain situations. Like, play the game that you're getting paid to play, and that is a privilege to play. Let's not like get caught up in the like, oh, I got to go see my nail stylist to make sure I get like fuck this team on my nails this week. Maybe just watch a couple extra hours of tape, or something like that.
Yeah, it's like in high school, Jesse. We did. This is different. I shouldn't even brought this up.
Oh no.
What did we put on our face?
The local newspaper did preseason projections, and they said we were going to go 2-7, and we proved them wrong. We went 3-6.
3-6.
But yeah, we put 2-7 on our wrist tape for motivation, and that didn't work out too good. But
no,
it did. You guys beat that is good.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting poll from NBC Sports Chicago. This was a few days ago. 13,000 Bears fans, or fans in general, responded to this poll. Who should be the Bears quarterback next year?
I want to guess. Wait, I want to guess.
Okay.
Do
you want me to give you the options?
Yeah.
No.
No?
I want to hear Tom say what he thought he was going to say.
Give me the options.
No.
Give him the options. Give him the options.
Okay. I'm lost.
All right,
quarterback in Chicago.
4 options are Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, Drake May, and or someone else.
I think we already took Drake May.
No. 5% on Drake May.
Oh, dang.
So that leaves 95% for you to allocate, Tom. What do you got next?
All right, so I missed that one.
Barely.
I'd say 50 say Justin Fields, and 45 on Caleb Williams. And then who's the last one?
Someone other than those 3.
5%, yeah.
So this was a snapshot in time.
Wait, look, anybody else want to check or just me?
I think I might have voted on this one, so I'll guess. But with that as a lead in, but I think that it's probably closer to like, this isn't going to add up to 100, but like closer to like 58, 57 on Fields, and then like 28 on Williams, and then like 1 or 2% on somebody else.
Okay.
You freaking voted and it came up.
I think the logical direction here is Fields 1, Caleb Williams 2, in terms of the split. I'm not going to guess percentages. I hate that game. And then other would be next, and then we already know Drake May's at 5%, so I'm going to put him in last.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco.
So the someone else category is tied with Drake May at 5%.
Dang.
Justin Fields, at this point in time when this snapshot was taken, 72% of the votes. Caleb Williams, only 19. So, I think other people in Chicago kind of feel how we do about Caleb Williams. And maybe that's because of this portrait that the media has painted about Caleb Williams and his attitude and, whatever. But also it shows that people still believe in Fields and him as a player. And maybe this was after one of his good games. Maybe this was after the Cardinals game. I don't know, because after the Browns game, I was down on him bad. But that's just how it's been with him.
Yeah.
It's been Jekyll and Hyde. And
I'm going to go buy a Fields jersey right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna go by what?
I think Williams, like I feel like I've done nothing but say like, hey, I don't want Williams, I don't like Williams, get him back, like we're good. I think Williams could be good. He could be better than Justin Fields. From what I've seen out of Fields, like I think it would be absurd for me to sit here and be like, there's no way Williams can be better than him. Every pro, like college scout, analyst, whatever you want to call it, they love this guy. They think he has the potential to be like a once in a 20-year type of talent at quarterback. For me to be like, there's no way he could be an upgrade. I do think he could be an upgrade. I just personally don't like what he's done at USC. He wasn't a winner there. He won the Heisman, an individual trophy based on stats. Like he didn't. I'm looking for someone that won games, like someone that has a personality that's not like super abrasive, or at least like knee-jerk reaction isn't like, I don't know, I don't like that. So yeah, that's where I'm at on Williams. Like I don't want it to come across as like there's no way this guy can be good. I think he can be good. He may even be better than Fields. I just don't love him like some of the experts do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. I think he will fit in somewhere. I just hope it's not. I hope we just don't try to force him into the Bears. I mean,
we can crush his hopes and dreams real fast.
Yeah.
Like you want to see somebody. You want to see somebody having a hard time. Caleb Williams in Chicago, and we're 3-12.
Yeah.
That's going to be some. You want to talk about crying after a game? Welcome to my life.
Yeah,
bud. Okay. You're in my area now.
Yeah.
You can't ever be that optimistic where you're actually let down when the Bears lose. I mean, even this last week.
Believe me, it's possible.
Well, I hope we can just win out. Get some momentum into next year.
Yeah. Same.
Back to the point of this team looking a lot like the Lions team ending last season. If we can do that, if we can win these next two games against the Falcons, who have proven that they're a gritty team, and they still have a chance to make the playoffs here.
Taylor Heineke,
that's right.
Their defense is playing.
Borgo's sister-in-law
playing well.
And then the Packers, of course, in Lambeau. That's a nice springboard to head into this offseason and then figure out some of these question marks that we have, and get ready for a nice 2024 campaign where you're expecting to see a really good Chicago Bears defense accompanied by more question marks on the offensive side of the ball, but that all that's going to work itself out when the draft comes and see what happens with the coaching staff and the front office and some of these other moves that we'll make in the offseason. So I'm excited overall. Obviously, not pretty disappointed with how the season has gone, but hopeful for what I've seen over the last 4 or 5 weeks since Fields has come back from that injury, really.
Yeah, no. I'm excited.
Fuck you, dude.
That's what I was laughing at. No, I think that puts a good bow on it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and everything.
Wait, before we go, also.
Okay, yeah, just interject. Go ahead.
Quick go around. Favorite either memory or Christmas gift this year.
For this year?
Yep. Or yeah.
I was talking to Mariah about this the other day, and I don't have any one present where it's like, oh my God, this was the present that was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sound like a fucking spoiled little brat right now, but dude, anytime I got an Xbox or a PlayStation, that was the best Christmas ever.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like, we got the new thing. This is great. And it's as simple as that for me. I was very, and Christmases are not as, I'm stuck with my PS4 now. If anybody's going to get a new PS5, I got to go buy one myself. And it's just not as appealing.
Yeah.
As having your mom buy you one.
My mom got me 2 gift cards to
TJ Fridays.
Two $50 gift cards to American Eagle. American Eagle, Mom? I don't. That's all. That's like a holiday, So
Tom is going to be rocking the double polo collar popped.
Yeah.
He's going to be looking real good.
Ripped light jeans.
Yep.
So.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I remember just going bonkers over just needing one of those freaking polos at one point in my life, and it's just like,
Yeah.
wow.
I got a couple Bears hats. The wife got me this year. You know.
Did you watch Fifth Element?
No, I watched Die Hard for the first time. First time.
Okay.
And
That's such a disappointed sigh.
Major
it
letdown
was
there.
great. Oh my gosh. And my wife liked it, which was like a double. She was into it. And we had to go to my Christmas, and we had like 40 minutes left. And we're like, we got to be late. But we just recorded it. But
We gotta be late.
It was he's just great. I need to watch Die Hard 2 and 3 if maybe.
Yeah, I'll go. I got a record player, and it's funny because last year my dad got me a vinyl record, and I didn't have a record player, and he was just like, "You got a record player, right?" And I was like, "No."
Yeah.
So now this year,
Did it come in
he got me
8?
another record, not knowing that I hadn't gotten a record player. Or
Wow.
that I had gotten a record player, and he was just like, "You got a record player, right? You got a record player by now." And I was like, "I actually got one from."
You
from
feel
Mom.
like Creedence Clearwater? What was
I got one yesterday, luckily.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I still
So,
didn't have one.
I was able to listen to those records he got me last year for Christmas, so that was fun.
Time.
If you knew our dad, that's kind of how Christmas operates. You really don't know what's coming. Did the record player come in an empty case of Bud Light?
Did you go turtle hunt?
So I got the record player from Mom.
Oh, you got it from Mom. Was the record in like old newspaper or something?
No, but he did get a calendar for Mariah and a calendar for Grandpa. So I thought it was a calendar, and it turns out he got me a record.
You got your ass.
So another thing I'll put. My grandpa and my dad always make oyster stew for Christmas.
How was the oyster stew?
It's just a stick of butter, half and half, and then the oysters. And it's the only time of the year I ever have oysters. But man, they are tasty.
That sounds like it has to be good. All the cholesterol in there, jeez.
Yeah.
No turtle?
That's
No
exactly
turtle?
right.
No turtle for Christmas.
Too?
Nope.
Oh, dang, dude.
Damn.
It's not in season.
Letdown.
Oh, it's in season already.
It's prime turtle season, actually.
No.
We come from a long line of turtle hunters.
People
may not know that about us.
Is it really turtle season? No way. I don't think turtle season would be. They're like on.
You can catch them any time of year.
So this time is when they burrow underneath the mud about a foot. So you go out with like a metal pole that's hooked on one end and it's pointy on the other end, and you poke the pointy end in the mud until you hit something hard. And then if you've done it enough, you can discern whether or not that's a log or it's a turtle shell. You can also tell by the smell, apparently. I haven't been able to decipher this yet or figure it out, but
we better.
It's a very nuanced practice, Tom.
We're gonna get the animal lovers all riled up in the chat. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure the way that it's done is completely illegal. So we should probably stop talking about this.
How was your Christmas?
It was good. We did a smaller one, so didn't go home or anything, obviously, which was unfortunate. Couldn't come back to see the guys or the family and all that. But we just did a small one out here. Went to Savannah's mom's on Christmas Day, cooked some good meals. And then, yeah, like I said, we're going to be catching up on finances through the middle of this coming year. Probably towards the end of it, we might be close to caught up. So we were just very adamant about not really doing Christmas, but it was still good. We made memories and we gifted those.
That's what it's about,
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So no PlayStation then.
Yeah.
No, I was looking at. I saw somebody did get a console, the Xbox S, and I was like, these are kind of reasonable. I might,
Yeah.
It's on my list of wants, not needs. So
yeah,
someday. But yeah, that should do it. We're going to be signing off here. Tune in. We're going to make our picks here soon on Thursday.
Soon.
Yeah.
sure.
Playoffs are coming, guys.
We're getting a few more subscribers. I think we're up to 24 now. Do like and subscribe, comment in the video like we had said before. And then I think for our 100 subscriber thing, we're going to make some sick hats. Chitown Lowdown.
Dude,
we're going to
I feel like that'd be cool.
Let's go.
Yep. Heard it here first. But till next time. Everybody throw the deuces up.
No, this is mine now.
Oh.